Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Geopolitically Incorrect.
Actually going to correct you right now. You know why? Because
What?
from today, we are going to be called geopolitically quarantined due to the, due to the ongoing situation. Yeah, we lied to
So,
everybody. We
as you
lied to
guys,
everybody. We told that this would have been a thing that we do every single week, and now it's been what, a month? Like, come on.
yeah,
Let's
so,
talk about commitment.
yeah. Yeah, so this is our second episode of Geopolitically Incorrect or Geopolitically Quarantined, as you said, Andrea. We did our first episode when? I would say a month ago,
Yeah,
maybe
so yeah,
a little bit less
February,
than a month
if
ago.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's kind of like the 26th, maybe, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
okay, yeah, so just under a month. We started with high hopes, high intentions. We had big goals, big dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah, we wanted to do a lot every week. We wanted
every week.
to
And
talk
right
about.
on point, we lied to the world, to the whole world. We lied. We lied significantly, I would say, but okay, it happens, I guess.
Unfortunately, we couldn't keep that promise, could we
Yeah.
now? And yeah, no, because we got caught up in this whole coronavirus situation here. And what happened to us in at the university?
Well, they shut it down.
They shut it down.
let's be let's be clear. Now we are forced to do those online classes, which a little bit interesting, I would say, but we're getting adjust to it, right? We
Yeah.
have lots of things to do. I don't know if what about you, but I do so many things. I wake up, I I eat, and I sleep. So there's, there's lots of things to do.
Bro, that's almost the same as what I do. But you forgot.
See, that's why being an introvert is it's a perk sometimes. It helps you.
The thing
You know
is,
what I'm saying? I can adjust easily to everything.
no, but the thing is, you find out that you are an introvert when you notice that your social life, your life, your weekend
Exactly.
isn't.
Exactly.
It's the same thing as
The
being
same thing.
quarantined.
Same thing.
Your
What's the
weekend isn't
point?
very different.
I'm asking, like, what's the point of going to bed at, like, I don't know, 2 a.m. on Saturday when you can go to bed at, I don't know, 9 p.m.? Like, it's great. When you eat, you have
What?
your dinner, and you
Catch
go
up
to sleep.
on some sleep.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
would do that as well.
then you wake up at around 7 a.m., it's pretty clear. It's pretty easy.
Sunday morning. That's the way to keep the weekend going. And
Exactly.
but yeah, no, I too right now in this situation. I'm stuck at home. I keep telling everybody that it's best to stay at home. You don't
Hashtag io resto a casa.
hashtag io resto a casa. Go outside only when it's necessary to go and buy groceries. And
Wash
other than
your
that,
hands. How
and
many times do you wash your hands by day? I think I've reached 45 once. It was just out of fear, I guess.
your hands were red, so
I
just
mean,
destroyed.
I mean, I was like washing my bone at some point, but okay.
But the
I
thing is,
guess
like,
it
I have
works.
no, but the thing is, like, I have really sensitive skin, especially in my hands. I don't know why,
Yeah, I do too.
and it gets, especially
Winter
when
is
it's cold.
terrible.
Yeah, especially when it's cold, it gets all dry. And so, washing your hands repeatedly, yeah, that's good. But it also, I've noticed, it does irritate the skin sometimes. I don't. Maybe it's the type of soap I'm using. I'm not using the right type of soap. I
It
haven't found.
does to me too, actually.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens
There
to
you
me
go.
too, actually.
There you go. I wanted to buy some more soap at the supermarket, but it was all out. That and along with all the toilet paper. So what are you gonna
By the
do?
way, how much time do you spend to buy your groceries? It's like 3 hours, I guess, because
Oh,
it
I went
must be
last time.
must be
Yeah, no.
difficult.
Last time I went to buy groceries was last Sunday. So yeah,
Yeah.
last week, exactly last week. I went in the morning, and I had to wait about 45 minutes, 50 minutes in line. It wasn't that bad, I have to be honest. I know others have been waiting more, but considering 45 minutes just to wait in line, just to go inside the store is significant. Next time I'm gonna go, I'm probably gonna go either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I'm gonna go in the very morning, early
Yeah.
morning. People are like some of those who are working, so that I can go and like skip some of the line, hopefully.
But you know what's crazy? I mean, we opened up the year in 2020, right? It was in January when the whole situation, Trump and Iran took place, and we was like, World War III is about to happen. Like we're going to be confined to our houses. Nobody will be able to get out of there. And guess what? It happened. Now
It
it
happened.
just happens that no weapons are around, but we can't leave. We can't go outside. So it's quite interesting, I guess. And the whole world is quarantined, which is, I find it fascinating concerning the globalization, all the development we have obtained throughout the last century, I guess. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, my worry is also about how the apart from of course the human loss and the hardships that all families have gone through and are currently going through right now because of this virus. Of course, our thoughts are with them. But also, it's interesting to consider the economic consequences and of what is happening because, like you said, we have a very globalized economy right now. It's very integrated. If one thing goes wrong in one place in the world, 10 things may go wrong in another place in the world.
Yeah.
So right now, this is a rather big disruption in the economy. So my question is, what's going to be the results? What's going to be the impact of this all?
Well, itself was already bad because it started in the hub of the economy in China. And then because all the products are created there, but it just escalated real quick. And now we are all involved in the situation. So it's going to look bad. I think it's going to look bad,
Yeah.
especially at the end of the year. But we'll get through this, I guess. I hope. So yeah, I hope not to contract the virus. By the way, I
Yeah,
think that's the first hope.
that would
Probably
be ideal. That
that
would
would be
be
ideal,
very
right?
ideal. But let's talk really quickly about how we want to keep this podcast going. So how are we going to manage this?
Well, it's interesting because we started there, and Lewis and our university was comfortable. It was familiar. Now it's a little bit different. We
Yeah, we're at
promised to
home.
give.
At home, so
We
not
are home.
familiar, right?
So yeah. I'm always ready. But anyway, I was saying that we promised to potentially cover all the different, international affairs situation that would have developed throughout the weeks, and we definitely did not keep that promise. But it wasn't our fault this time. And so because with the situation of the coronavirus, I guess international affairs take a step back. It's a tough times to bring you to deal with other things. I mean, nobody can go outside, so it's a little bit difficult. But we're certainly going to try to cover, especially certain important situation that have occurred in the recent futures, in past, I should say actually. So, for example, last few months might not be as actual, uh, because again, coronavirus is what is dominating the news today. But I think they, could potentially be interesting to analyze. We'll still look at them in detail, trying to give you all the potential, scenarios as well as perception and perspective of this particular situation that I've developed, especially in the last few months. So I guess we will still be able to do a good job and a good program
Yeah, no, no. I
despite the
guess,
situation.
yeah. Like you said, the only thing we can do is probably just try and we are going to stick right now to this weekly basis.
Yeah,
We're
it's going to
making
be
this
on Monday, if
promise.
I'm not mistaken.
This is going to be a promise every
Yeah,
week.
absolutely. Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Again, I have so much
cascading.
to do. I don't know if I'll be able to record every week, but we shall see, I guess.
No, we will
I'll,
record every week.
as I
And
said, I have too much things to do. I can't.
we're so
So
busy.
active, so busy.
And yeah, and we'll see if we can any interesting things that come up currently or in the past that something to consider, something to spend some time discussing. That's what we'll do in these next upcoming weeks because I personally don't think that the situation is going to change anytime soon. I,
Unfortunately, I would probably say no. It's not going to change, but it's probably going to improve. I mean, I look at the statistic just right now. They're arriving me to phone, and there's just been less than 4,000 cases, which could be good. So when you
less than
think about
4,000 cases
less
today.
less than 40,000 today, and I think it was 4,600, 4,800 yesterday. So it's a little bit of an improvement.
But you
You know,
have to consider that, of course, now we're talking about the cases here in Italy right now.
yeah.
That while it may seem that from one day to the other a
Oh,
decrease
absolutely, absolutely. You're
is
right.
is 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 positive, it is
You never know.
these decreases have occurred maybe 3 or 4 times, and then have been subsequently followed by a
Exactly.
massive upward spike.
Exactly.
That goes.
That's exactly what.
This.
Yeah, in fact, that's exactly why predictions fail completely. I mean, the peak was supposed to be reached once, 4 days ago,
Yeah.
and I don't know, but I'm looking for every potential, little nugget of positivity, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see. Just
No,
have to
no.
wait and estar a casa. Estar a casa. It's the only thing we can do.
No, because my worry right now is
Estar a casa.
hashtag ir esta casa. No, because my worry right now is that I don't think the healthcare system is going to support this.
To hold.
Yeah, and I have no idea I was going to hold this.
Well, I mean, I can give you a little bit of a perspective of my father, who is, a doctor, and I don't know, it potentially be that the hospital is going to get basically shut down and be used only for coronavirus patients. So the situation is serious, and so we will see.
You're thinking he said that it might get hospitals might close for other injuries or other.
I mean, this is what he actually just said. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but I think it's potential. So it's a possibility. It should just be used for coronavirus patients because the situation again is serious.
Yeah, and I assume that since we haven't slowed down, heck, we've picked up the pace in these couple of days. I'm assuming that it'll keep going up.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you think about all the crazy situation that happened right after the schools were closed. I mean, and I know it's common, and in a certain way, it's kind of cliche to say, "Oh, we Italians do not respect the rules, do not follow the rules when they're implemented." But we really didn't. So that's the problem on Saturday and Sundays. Right after the schools were closed, everybody was partying, and once you close a school, I think people should realize that is a big step. And so if that happens, then everybody else should try to, understand what is going on, which means stay in your home, basically.
No, I've heard that, for example, in Florida, after the whole situation, cases I think have been confirmed in all states except for Virginia. I'm not sure if a case is confirmed currently, or maybe not Virginia, but West Virginia.
West Virginia. I heard that.
Yeah, it's the only survivor right now.
I don't know why. Probably no tampons there. I have no idea. No tests. I don't know.
But the thing is, I've heard that. I've seen interviews that people are still going and going to they're still doing their spring break over there. They're still doing their spring break. It's not a problem for them. They say the virus is not going to stop me from having fun. It's not going to stop me from going and doing my spring break.
I mean, on the one hand, they are kind of true. I mean, the virus itself is not that terrible. Well, the problem is that if too many people take it, then the health system is going to collapse. So you have to stay at home. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. The thing is, the death rate isn't necessarily that high, especially for the younger you are, the less likely you are to incur serious impact or a serious complications from the virus. But the issue is that you nonetheless need treatment, and and one bed given to you is one bed not given to somebody who needs it more than you do. And so
you can just transmit the virus extremely easily, which is a real point of concern. And the last one is people just buying masks. I mean, and also what is it? Supermarkets and all type of shops are still open. They're required to use masks and gloves. I mean, gloves it's fine because it's kind of like a good that everybody has in his house anyway, if you want to clean and whatever. But masks are not. They are necessary for the people who really need them, which means either if you have the virus or if you are a doctor.
Has your dad said anything about masks?
Huh?
Has your dad said anything about masks?
I mean, he has to wear it every day because there's also been like 2 cases, not just in the hospital, but specifically where he works. He's not a virologist or immunologist. He's an orthopedician, I guess. But it's been 2 cases there, so he has to wear it every day. He has to check his temperature once he comes back. Yes, twice, if I'm not mistaken. But they need them seriously. That's the problem. If you just on a queue at the supermarket, I'm pretty sure you do not need the mask. So just don't buy the mask. Bring it to the doctors. They really need them, or the patients.
I mean, I've heard as well that the mask isn't necessarily. I mean, it's necessary for those who are working constantly in contact and are in constant contact with somebody who has the virus. But from what I understood, and prove me wrong, I don't know if your dad give you any insights. The mask doesn't really protect you necessarily from the virus. I mean, as long as somebody doesn't cough into your mouth that has the virus, then yeah, okay, mask is good for that. But the most important thing is not to touch your face with dirty hands.
Well, if you have it, you maybe don't know to have it, and the mask is still a way to protect yourself from the other. So it is, in a certain way, better than not wearing anything. But at the same time, there are so few of them that it'll be better for normal citizens not to buy them, because there is a real shortage of them right now. So.
Yeah, and I heard what's it called right now? They're just into certain factories are just dedicating their whole energies right now and all of the resources to producing these masks. And my worry right now is that apart from the whole change in the whole economy, the whole society is just blocked right now. It's just stopped. We're not moving anymore. And my worry is also.
It's crazy. I mean, we're in 2020, and this is how the world is working. Just it's fascinating, I guess. But
Yeah, no. My worry right now is what's also going to happen after this, because I know we can make this. I know we're going to be resilient. I know measures are going to be introduced. Maybe it's not. Unfortunately, the results aren't going to be seen as quickly as we hope. And so we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, but I'm sure that this is gonna move on. My question is also, I mean, it's interesting to think about what's gonna happen afterwards.
Yes, I mean, we don't know. The experts don't know, so probably nobody has an idea of it. We just make some few predictions. Right now, for what concerns the spreading of the virus, I guess the situation is terrible right now. We all know that Europe is at the center. Asia has already been, to a certain extent, involved in there, but China has been able to control it. The United States are growing in terms of cases every single day. But I guess the terrible scenario would be if really Africa and also India were to be impacted by the virus itself, because as long as it's Europe, I know it's terrible to say it because people are dying and everything, but there is a relative possibility to protect yourself. You as a citizen most likely are going to have the opportunity to have the access to all the necessary treatments that you might need to take care of the situation. Whereas in Africa and in India, it's obviously not the case, or at least for the majority of the people. So right now, still the cases are quite low, especially in Africa. But the situation can get really, really bad if the virus is going to effectively spread there.
Yeah. I mean, right now. We have, if you do contract it, you nonetheless do have the facilities here to try and get cured. But if you catch it in an area or in a country in which the healthcare system isn't adequately prepared to deal with such a pandemic. It is going to be an issue. I know. Just think about the Ebola crisis in 2014 and how many people died. Just how many people died immediately, and how quick that spread in the region. And so yeah.
Well, I think if you compare the two, I don't know. It might sound odd, but I think it could be worse with coronavirus because.
Oh yeah, no, of course, it's going to be worse with coronavirus.
Because with Ebola, as a virus is extremely worse. It's terrible. It's a lot worse than the coronavirus. If Ebola hits you in 2 days, you're dead. There's no way to suppress it. But on the other side, with coronavirus, first of all, you might be asymptomatic for forever, like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And pretty sure you can still transmit it to someone else.
And you can still transmit it.
And the symptoms are so low. It's just most of the time it's a cough, maybe you have respiratory breathing problems and so on and so forth. So maybe a worker that is, I don't know, making $1 per day might simply say, hey, it's a cough. There's no need to see a doctor, or I can't afford to see a doctor for a cough, so I'm still going to go to work. Well, if you still go to work, then you're going to infect someone else. And so even though the virus itself is not as serious as Ebola was, the spreading could be really bad if it really hits Africa and India also.
Yeah, it has a perfect combination of not being deadly enough, while at the same time being able to spread still as easily as many diseases can. And so yeah, no, it is a problem. And as you said, the current right now, the situation in the world is slowing down. Economies are slowing down. Societies are slowing down or halting completely. People can't go outside. Politics, in a way, is foreshadowed or is put in the background right now because of this whole virus. So in the next upcoming weeks, I guess we can talk about anything that we find interesting or anything that we think should be discussed.
Yes.
And yeah, no, I think it was a nice way to. Unfortunately, the second episode we did additions. We're probably gonna have to continue with this we're gonna have to continue like this for a couple of episodes.
Yeah, maybe probably the entirety of the academic year, I guess, because when you think about it, it's basically already April, and so the measures are going to be here until April the 3rd, but everybody has already said that they're going to be extended, and so I guess at least 2 weeks maybe. And so with 2 weeks,
I think we're not going to go back to university.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to do our final exams in June.
Yeah, maybe.
In June, maybe we're going to do our final
exams, I guess.
In the university, maybe with restrictions in the sense that they'll divide us in different rooms, so that
probably
more
than a meter in distance between one another. So yeah.
So maybe like
it's
that.
Gonna be different. Yeah, it's gonna be different.
But I don't count on going back to the university. I don't think we're going to go back to the university for any lessons.
Yeah, I really doubt it. Right now, it looks serious enough to possibly say it's going to be very difficult to come back, especially because we finished the academic year, I guess, the 9th of May. So it's it's just more over a month. So yeah.
Yeah, no. I think we're gonna stay like this, and but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna continue trying. We're gonna continue doing our podcast, doing.
We're gonna be more committed, I guess. Yes, absolutely. Trying to lie to everybody.
And we're gonna make it a little bit more factual than this one. This was just a catching up episode. And then, the upcoming weeks we'll talk about different things. And yeah, we just wanted to thank you guys for
all the 3 guys that watches this. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We try to warm your hearts every single week, and we know we're capable of doing that. We don't do that.
And
by the way, what a great name is Geopolitical Quarantine. Can I say that? I got jokes. I'm a comedian. I'm a stand-up comedian, I guess.
I like Geopolitical Quarantine. So for now, I guess we can maintain it as Geopolitically Quarantined.
I'm losing my headphones.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, I guess we can end it here.
Yeah.
Next week we'll do another episode. We're gonna put it online on Mondays.
Yep. It's gonna be when 1 p.m. Is it? If I'm not mistaken, I could be totally wrong. So
we'll see. And yeah, so thank you everybody, those who tuned in, and we'll see you guys next week. So thank you for watching the second episode of Geopolitically
Quarantined.
There you go. So thank you everybody, and stay safe.